You know, every restaurant is a buffet if you want to pay, especially here in Las Vegas, the all-you-can-eat capital of the world. Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and I'm on a quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. I'm 221 in, and this week for number 222, I'm coming to you from the top of the Rio, Las Vegas at the grand opening of High Stakes. Really happy to show you this one. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here we are seated at High Stakes at the Rio, Las Vegas. Located on the 50th floor of the Rio, you do have to go through the carnival court to get here, but taking a right from the front entrance and up the escalators, you will find signage to make your way to the top of the tower. Once you get past the lounge space, you're met with an absolutely stunning dining room. A forest green painting on the walls sets the atmosphere, dim lighting with very intimate soft music, and incredible views of the Las Vegas Valley. A beautiful restaurant, some really great vibes in here. Now, regardless of the vibes, you know it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at what they have to eat on the menu. Let's start things off with the beverage menu, a beautiful leather-bound menu. Let's take a look inside. Here are some lighter cocktails. Looks like some daiquiris, Tom Collins, margaritas. All looking really nice. I believe these are all $16. And then here we have something a little bit stronger over here, the Negroni, Old Fashioned, Manhattans, and the like. And looks like some non-alcoholics down here at 12 bucks. And on the back, couple of beers here. You've got Coors Banquet for $5, some cold snacks. Yeah, $8 to $10 beers here. And that's the quick beverage menu here at High Stakes. Now I do have work in the morning, so I'm not going to be doing any drinking this evening. Let's take a look at what they have to eat next. Alrighty, so here is the menu at High Stakes. Take a look inside. Starting things off with the appetizers and soups and salads here. We've got some pastrami glazed bacon, bone marrow, fried artichokes. Yeah, all sounds really good. Soups and salads, we've got lobster chowder, French onion, a wedge, a Caesar, and a market salad. There's also a caviar available here for $185. We also have some chilled seafood towers here. Prawn cocktail, king crab legs, all looking really good. And then we have the beef. We are at a steakhouse. What do we have? We have the hangers. Ooh, they have smoked prime rib. That sounds really good. Porterhouse, some very classic looking cuts. And then we have the hunt. Oh, we have some very unique cuts here. Bison filet, a lion's mane mushroom. Cool looking vegan option there. Elk and venison. Yeah, very nice. And then we have some entrees here as well. We've got your Jadori fried chicken, Salisbury steak. I don't remember the last time I had a Salisbury steak, so I think that's gonna happen for sure. Yeah, looking really nice. And then your sides and vegetables here, basil cream spinach. What do we got? Mashed potatoes, cream corn, scalloped potatoes, and toppers and sauces. Yeah, all looking really nice. Is there a backside to this? Nope. And that's your menu here at High Stakes. A good looking menu here at High Stakes. Plenty I'm looking forward to trying, especially in that hunt section. So many unique, cool choices I'm looking forward to showing you today. You know how it goes in my videos. Every restaurant is a buffet if you want to pay. I'm gonna get a nice variety together. We're gonna see what High Stakes is all about. Appetizer are coming up first. I'll see you a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back, everyone. Now the appetizers got here. This is looking pretty good. Let me give you a view. We got some French onion soup along with their fried artichokes, their prime rib sliders, their bone marrow, and their crab cakes. This is all looking really tasty. Let's give it a try. First off, the French onion soup. Very good looking French onion soup. I've got a beautiful spoonful here. And here's the first taste of High Stakes at the Rio. Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's good. A very tasty French onion soup, starting with that beautiful cheese layer. It's been wonderfully toasted, a bit of a crunch to that exterior, but such a melty and gooey texture overall. The crostini underneath still actually has a little bit of body to it.
It hasn't been completely soaking through the soup yet. It does give a little bit of additional texture in the spoonful, and that is pretty nice. A nice complex flavor to the soup. The onions have certainly been stewed for hours. You absolutely get that caramelized sweetness. But even beyond the standard Worcestershire that might provide a little bit of tang, there's a very dry flavor here, likely coming from sherry or something similar. It is well seasoned, a very flavorful soup. Ultimately, when it comes to onion soup, I would say this really leans toward that dry, tangy flavor, still allowing you to enjoy the caramelized flavor of those onions with a nice richness from the cheese. This is coming together well. A good start to high stakes. Next up, prime rib sliders. 2 sliders come in an order, and these are absolutely stuffed. Lots of beautiful looking shaved prime rib here. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that is really good. I'm really enjoying these prime rib sliders. Starting with these mini bread loaves. They've been wonderfully toasted, quite crunchy on the outside, but a relatively dense center. There is some chew to this bread, and it has a slightly sweet, buttery flavor. I like the bread here a lot. I'm really enjoying the shaved prime rib here. Super tender and ultra juicy. It's incredibly satisfying to bite into this. And there's a nice smoky flavor coming from that prime rib, more so than standard prime ribs I've had. There is a bit of a thicker jus that's been applied here, delivering a nice savory flavor, as well as something like a horseradish cheese, delivering just a little bit of kick as well as some richness. This is a very tasty bite, and I'm enjoying this one a lot. That's a really good prime rib slider right there. Next up, crab cakes. 2 crab cakes to an order, and these are served on top of what looks like a cream corn. I've got a good looking forkful here. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah, that's really good. Excellent crab cakes at high stakes. This is a very flavorful dish. These have been fried perfectly. A little bit of panko on that exterior provides a very nice and satisfying crunch. Not too heavy or oily either. I actually really like the fry job on this. It's been nicely seasoned. A good preparation on that exterior. I love how much crab you get in the interior. Not a lot of filler when it comes to this crab cake. It really is just mostly crab, along with peppers, onions, and other herbs. A wonderful sweet flavor coming from that crab. It's tender, not dried out or stringy at all. It makes for a very satisfying bite. The cream corn underneath is actually very good. The corn is fork tender, cooked all the way through, delivering a nice sweetness, but the cream sauce also has a nice savory note to it. The tomato jam here also acts as a little bit of a salsa, delivering some heat as well as a bit of a garlicky flavor. It comes together deliciously in a bite, and I'm liking this one a lot. Some very comforting flavors with that one. I'm really enjoying the crab cakes. Next up, the bone marrow. We have some grilled toast here. I've applied some bone marrow on top, as well as what looks like some kind of jelly. And it's looking pretty good. Let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, that's good. Well, I found a very tasty bone marrow here at High Stakes. Starting with the bread, nicely grilled. It's got an excellent crisp on the outside. It's actually a little bit crunchy throughout. It's got a nice layer of oil on it, providing some richness, but you do get a bit of a smoky flavor here, along with a slight sour tang coming from that sourdough. The bread is nice. The bone marrow is luxuriously soft and deliciously rich. A nice gelatinous consistency makes it very easy to spread on the bread, working very much like a beef butter on top of that toast. It's served alongside a red wine onion jam. It's nice and sweet, a little bit smoky. It really helps to cut through a lot of the richness, providing balance to the bite, as well as some depth and complexity. The flavors come in layers and they're all very tasty. That was a very enjoyable bone marrow dish. Alright everyone, now the last appetizer to try today is gonna be their crispy artichokes. Served with some kind of a cream spinach sauce. I've given it a nice dip here. And a really tasty looking vegetarian appetizer for you all. Let's see how this one is. Oh yeah, that's so good. A wonderful medley of flavors with this appetizer. I'm enjoying this one a lot. The artichokes have been perfectly breaded and fried. Again, the use of panko breadcrumbs here delivers a nice crunch. Such a fun, crispy texture. I love biting into this. A nice layer of Parmesan cheese on the outside delivers salinity. And the batter has been well seasoned. This tastes great. The artichokes inside have been nicely cooked. Fork tender, delivering a little bit of that trademark bitterness. It too has been seasoned well. And it does make for a flavorful artichoke appetizer. The majority of the really bold flavors, however, comes from this bechamel sauce. Not only is there spinach in here, but there's a lot of basil delivering a beautiful floral note. It's creamy and rich with some nice irony flavors coming from that spinach. The creaminess of that bechamel with the crunch of that fried artichoke come together beautifully. That is a tasty appetizer right there.
All right, everyone, so that's all of the appetizers I'm trying today. I'm joined by my sister and brother-in-law, so we're gonna continue working through these, and then we'll do our first round of entrees. Don't go, I'll be right back. Okay, scratch that. Actually, it turns out they've just released a new batch of freshly baked bread, which is very nice of them to still offer it to us, given that timing-wise, we didn't have freshly baked available when we first sat down.
Served alongside with some good-looking butter. I've applied some on top.
And thankfully, High Stakes is not charging for bread service, something that has been happening a lot more on the Vegas Strip. Really happy about having this. Let's see how it tastes, though. Oh yeah, that's tasty.
Some good bread at High Stakes. Texture-wise, you're looking at something like a brioche roll. Very soft on the outside, fluffy and airy on the inside, although there is a bit of a toast to it, ever so slightly crispy on the bottom. There's a little bit of a malted-like flavor, almost kind of like a pretzel. Not exactly a pretzel bread, though. I find it to be a hybrid between a pretzel bread and a brioche loaf. The bread also has a lot of fresh herbs in it, the primary being dill. Now, what's actually making that even better is the fact that they're offering something close to a mustard butter here to be spread on top of the bread. It's rich, it's creamy, a nice buttery flavor, but it does have a nice pungent taste to it as well. That mustard really livens up your taste buds, helping you to appreciate the subtle herby flavors in the aftertaste. This is a really nice bread.
And as mentioned, I'm happy this one's being offered included with your meal. That's a good one. All right, everyone, so now that's all of the appetizers I'm going to be trying today. We're going to go and work through this, and then we'll see you with the first round of entrees. Don't worry, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. Now, my first round of entrees just got here. This looking so good. Let me give you a view.
I got that vegan lion's mane mushroom along with some venison, the Salisbury steak, the rigatoni, as well as their Chilean sea bass.
Some really good looking entrees here to start. Let's go in. First off, the Salisbury steak.
Growing up, this was one of my favorite foods. This was effectively the closest I got to meatloaf growing up as a kid. And this looks like a really nice mix between meatloaf and Salisbury steak.
And seeing this on the menu at a steakhouse, 100% I was gonna get it. Let's see how it tastes.
Oh yeah, that's good. I love the flavors. It's been incredibly well seasoned. A much more elevated and herbaceous Salisbury steak than I've had in the past. You can make out a lot of those delicious herby notes like the thyme and rosemary. Nice depth and complexity when it comes to the taste. Now personally, texture-wise, I do think it's a little bit on the grainy side. I personally wouldn't mind if there was a little bit more of a meaty chew to this. It's a bit softer than my personal likings. There's a sweet Worcestershire glaze on top, and that is delivering a lot of great flavors. It's very thick, much more viscous than a liquid, very much like a gel, and it has a deep, savory, yet sweet balanced flavor. A little bit of tang from Worcestershire, I do like that. The crispy onion bits on top provide a little bit of texture crunch along with a little bit of that nutty flavor. This is coming together well.
I do wish the textures were a little bit more meaty, but otherwise the flavors are very tasty. Now the Salisbury steak is served on top of some mashed potatoes, and I've got
A nice forkful here. It looks like it's also topped with some kind of a mushroom gravy.
Let's give this a taste. Oh yeah, that's good.
Some tasty mashed potatoes at High Stakes. These are working just fine, especially with the Salisbury steak. These are hand mashed potatoes. You absolutely get that natural starchy flavor here, but they have been well seasoned, nice and buttery, some good rich mashed potatoes. That is nice. A little bit more of a chunky rustic preparation than the silky smooth palm purees that you might find at a lot of other steakhouses. But underneath a very comforting Salisbury steak, this is working just fine. The mushroom gravy is really nice. It has a deep savory flavor, enhanced with the earthiness of the mushrooms. This is a nice side for the Salisbury steak.
And that's all coming together as a very tasty entree. Next up, the rigatoni negro.
You've got black colored rigatoni here, and it's served in some kind of a tomato-based sauce.
Let's give it a taste.
Now this is a delicious pasta dish. Starting with the rigatoni itself, so clearly made from scratch in-house, the most wonderful bouncy texture to this. Cooked al dente, a nice firm chew. The pasta is just fantastic. While the pasta is nice, it is this sauce that is so addicting. You're looking at something like a seafood stew. There's lobster and crab in here delivering some very briny and sweet flavors. Super tender, very soft, a wonderful texture. It's so satisfying going in on the seafood in this dish. The tomato sauce is also very good. It's chunky, it's thick, very welcoming and rustic, with a nice natural sweetness along with some savory elements. There's a nice bit of acidity in here, also helping to enhance the flavor of the seafood, with a nice hint of spice on the back end in the aftertaste. This is one of my favorite bites of the night so far. I'm really enjoying this one.
That is an excellent pasta dish.
Next up, we're going hunting, starting with the venison. The hunt was a really intriguing section of the menu, and it's been a really long time since I've had venison. And it's also served alongside a seasoning salt. I've topped my venison off with a little bit of it.
Let's see how it is. Oh yeah, that's good.
A very tasty cut of venison tonight. This has been very well prepared. Beautiful crust on the outside of this venison. You can tell that the broiler was ultra hot. A slight crisp to that exterior with a straightforward, simple seasoning blend. I'm really liking this a lot. Now this is venison, so you have much less fat content here, resulting in a bit of a gamey flavor. But this meat is ultra tender, so soft. They've absolutely nailed the cook on this, and the flavors are very pure and clean. I do like the seasoning blend that they provide for more of the gamey meats. Not only is there rosemary and thyme, but there's also some toasted juniper berries in here, delivering a bit of a floral note. It really does provide some nice accent flavors. That is nice. I'm enjoying this quite a bit.
Been a while since I've had venison, and this is a nice return to it. That's a good one. Next up, the lion.
Now this is a lion mane mushroom, not actual lion meat. I'm pretty sure that would be illegal. And what's really interesting is that this genuinely looks like meat. I've got a nice amount on the fork here.
Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that is good.
Color me impressed. I believe this is the best vegan rendition I've ever had of a steak. Having done YouTube now for several years, I've tried several vegan and vegetarian options at steakhouses. And when it comes to all the steak imitations, this is clearly head and shoulders above and the best I've ever tried. A wonderful texture. They've been able to get a bit of a meaty quality to this. While it is still a bit more on the spongy side like a mushroom, there's a bit more of a distinctive chew to this, really emulating that meaty feel. The texture on this is impeccable and really fun. They've been able to achieve something very akin to a steak sear. A crust has been formed on the outside of these lion mane mushrooms. Flavor profile wise, it's so savory. I don't even taste a lot of the earthiness of the mushroom that you're expecting. So many classic steak flavors, rosemary, thyme, butter, it's all coming through. The roasted garlic here also provides a nice touch. Those mild flavors accenting this perfectly. It's been seasoned well. I love the amount of black pepper that's really coming through on this. I mentioned it before and I must restate it. This is the best vegan rendition of a steak I've ever had.
I can see why this was highlighted in the menu. It's actually really good. I'm satisfied with this one. All right, everyone. Now the last entree I'm trying tonight from our first round is gonna be their Chilean sea bass.
Some Indian influence at work here. There's definitely a nice aroma coming off of this, but ultimately it's about the flavors.
So let's see how it tastes. Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
A nice fish dish here. Starting the discussion with the sea bass itself. Perfect cook on this. It's tender, super soft, and ultra flaky. Not overcooked, not under. They've really nailed the preparation. Now, while I wish I could say that I can taste the mild sweet flavors of the sea bass, unfortunately, I will say that's a bit lost here. And that's because the other flavors are so dominating. Indian flavors and spices are quite forward-facing and very pungent. And so that's what you're tasting very front and center. Not to say that it's a bad flavor, though. I will say one of the things I do love about Indian flavors in general, though, is that you really do achieve such a balance of sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and spicy. A lot of complexity when it comes to their spice mixes, and I will say this is quite well balanced when it comes to those flavor profiles, with a nice earthy flavor, but overall we do have some very fresh flavors here.
I just personally wish that you could taste the sea bass itself a little bit more. All right, everyone, so that's everything from our first round of entrees. My sister, brother-in-law, and I are gonna continue working on this box. A lot of it to go because we've got another round of food coming. We're at a steakhouse. We gotta do a steak dinner, right? Don't go anywhere because that's coming right up. And welcome back, my friends. Now our second round of entrees just got here, and this is a great looking steak dinner. Let me give you a view.
I got their smoked prime rib as well as their hanger steak, crispy Brussels sprouts, their crab and asparagus au gratin, as well as some beef tallow french fries.
Really tasty looking steak dinner. Let's give this all a try. First off, the hanger steak.
I asked for this cooked medium rare and I see a nice red center. I've got a little bit of their steak seasoning on this as well.
Let's give it a try. Yeah, not bad.
It's a pretty decent hanger steak. I do like the way this was prepared. Excellent crust form on the exterior. Now that I've tried several of the proteins, you can really tell they've got a piping hot broiler in the back, really applying some great heat to develop the crusts. So I'm really enjoying that. Really nailed the cook, absolutely hit temperature, a nice warm red center here. And while I wouldn't say the meat is ultra tender, it is still relatively soft. Although I do think it's a tad chewy, I wouldn't mind if this was just a little bit softer. That said, it has been very well seasoned, some really good flavors here, and you can really appreciate a pretty straightforward beef flavor as well. This is a good quality cut. Now the steak seasoning they have here at High Steaks is actually very good. You can make out the basics like salt and pepper, but there's also dehydrated garlic and onions, really delivering some complexity to the taste. There's also rosemary and thyme here, providing a bit of a floral note, standard for most steak recipes. And this steak is served alongside another bulb of roasted garlic, delivering some nice toasted mild flavors. This is still very enjoyable. While I wouldn't mind if this was just a little bit more tender, overall it still does taste pretty good. Next up, prime rib. If you watch the channel long enough, you know that I love prime rib. And as soon as I saw that it was highlighted in the menu, I had to try it. I got their standard cut, cooked medium rare, and it's topped with a beautiful looking jus. Let's give this a taste. Oh yeah, that's good. A tasty prime rib. Starting with the cook itself, masterfully done, absolutely hit temperature. And whereas I thought there was a bit of a chew to the hanger steak, this particular prime rib is velvety soft, ultra tender, very juicy. I really like the cut of meat here. Now this is a smoked prime rib, not a roasted one, and so there's definitely a bit of a smoky flavor here. The crust especially certainly has a nice peppery and smoky flavor. Even the seasonings themselves have had a lot of time to be soaked in that smoke. Now the jus here is interesting. While there are some savory notes, it actually leans very sweet and very tangy. I believe there's a fair amount of Worcestershire in this jus. And while this actually tastes pretty good to me, I do think it could be slightly off-putting for someone who was expecting just a little bit more of a straightforward jus flavor. Now this is served alongside some horseradish. We'll give it a quick dip here, and we'll give this a try as well. Oh yeah, that's good. A nice tasting horseradish sauce. It's a bit on the thinner side, a little bit more creamy than your standard horseradish, although it still does have a bit of kick to it, but certainly more of a mild horseradish than I've had in other places. The milder flavors still allow for that tang to come through when it comes to the jus, as well as those smoky flavors to still be accentuated. That does come together well. A little different from your standard prime rib, but we do have some pretty good flavors here. Next up, the asparagus. This is a crab asparagus Oscar, and I've got a nice creamy looking spear here. Let's give it a try. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of this one. Not entirely sure if this is for my taste, but I will start with the good. The asparagus is cooked well, fork tender, but not mushy at all, still has a nice crisp to the exterior, a healthy crunch there, and so I do appreciate the preparation. Now the Oscar sauce for me, while it tastes decent in limited quantities, given how much is in here, it actually is a bit overbearing. It's quite heavy and incredibly rich. It almost has a hollandaise-like flavor to it. You get a richness very similar to an egg yolk, and there's a bit of a salty tang on the back end that makes this feel a little bit heavy in the bite. I don't really taste too much of the crab either. I was really hoping that briny sweetness would come through a lot more. I've had sides very similar to this in the past, and I don't know if this is my favorite rendition. So far it's been nothing but hits though, so I suppose one little miss isn't too bad. Next up, the Brussels sprouts. I'm a big fan of most Brussels sprout recipes in a lot of steakhouses, and this is looking pretty good with that Parmesan cheese on top. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. A pretty tasty Brussels sprout side. You've got some pretty complex flavors going on here. Starting with the cook on the Brussels sprouts, they absolutely nailed it. They've been able to tenderize the vegetable nicely through the cook, broken down a lot of those cell walls that make it a little bit difficult to bite into, and they've been able to cook out the off-putting bitter flavors that are also present. Now there's a lot of Greek influence here. Some coastal Mediterranean spices and flavors are definitely making themselves known. Some good Saba flavors, as well as something like a balsamic, is providing some good tang. Garlicky and well seasoned, this does taste pretty good. A nice salinity coming from some additional pepperoni cheese. If you're a fan of Mediterranean flavors, I think you're gonna really like this one. Some solid Brussels sprouts. All right, everyone, now the last bite that I'm trying from the food here at High Steaks at the real Las Vegas is gonna be their French fries. Beef tallow French fries, and these are so very clearly made from scratch in-house, and I love French fries. Let's see how they are here at High Steaks. Oh yeah, that's tasty. Very enjoyable French fries at High Steaks. Those of you who watch the channel long enough know that I'm a huge fan of ultra crispy French fries. However, the fries here only have a very light crisp to them, despite the fact I actually do find them very satisfying to eat, because they do still have a relatively pillowy potato center. The flavor is where these fries shine though. They've been fried in a garlic beef tallow, and it really shows. A bit more of a clean flavor coming through, being cooked in that beef tallow, and the hints of garlic are very pronounced. Seasoned simply but generously, a garlicky French fry is working really well with the rest of our steak dinner, and I must say I'm pretty happy with those. Some solid French fries here at High Steaks. All right, everyone, so that's all of the food I'm trying today. We're gonna get a lot of this boxed up and ready to go so we can do some dessert next. Don't go anywhere because sweets are coming up.
And welcome back, everyone. Now, I'm sure you can tell I'm actually in a different seat because I've returned on a different day. Turns out I didn't have my microphone on during the last sections of the video, and so I'm back here to do a little bit of dessert, a little bit of the outro, and I thought, you know what, maybe I can do a little bit more of a normal dinner tonight while I'm here. And so while I was a little bit bummed about not being able to use my original footage, I'm still fully fine with coming back on another day to get the rest. I was actually really intrigued about trying out the cheeseburger, and so that's what I'm trying out here today. Well, since I'm here anyways, I decided to make an entire meal out of it, and I'm gonna kick things off with some lobster chowder.
A really fun presentation for this lobster chowder. I love the puff pastry shaped like a lobster, and I've got a nice little spoonful here.
Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's good.
A very tasty lobster chowder. I'm definitely enjoying the flavors here. I'm gonna start with the puff pastry. A bit of a toasted nutty flavor to it, but it's incredibly flaky and very buttery. A slightly savory note to it in the aftertaste as well. It has an excellent texture, a really fun crunch. I do like that. I do like the chowder here as well. It's very creamy. I think personally I was expecting a little bit more of a thick, viscous chowder, given the name chowder. Given the consistency, I would say this feels more like a bisque. You have some chunky diced up potatoes in here, and while I would say the majority of them are fully cooked through, 1 in every 8 or so are not all the way fork tender. I imagine over the course of the night these will soften, but as it stands right now, just a couple of bites of the soup did leave a bit to be desired when it came to the slightly harder potatoes. The lobster flavor here is very nice. A sweet and savory lobster flavor, enhanced with a lot of butter. This is a very rich chowder. It does taste great. It's well seasoned, not a bland chowder by any means. There actually are some nice big chunks of lobster in the chowder as well, and as you bite into it, you certainly get more of a focused lobster flavor, but texture-wise, given that it's been sitting in a chowder, it is quite stringy.
If every potato was fully fork tender, I think this would have been immaculate and really, really great. Now, the lobster chowder was a nice way to start, but my main entree is here for the evening, and that is their cheeseburger.
And if you've watched my videos enough, you know I love steakhouse burgers. They always seem to be so good, and this one is just piping hot.
Let's give it a bite.
Oh yeah, that is really good. Excellent steakhouse burger at high stakes. I'm really happy I came back tonight. I think I love everything about this. Starting with this burger bun, a fantastic potato bun. It's ultra soft on the outside, very airy in the center, and just a hint of a sour taste to it. It's been nicely toasted in the center, giving a little bit of crisp, and perfectly buttered for flavor and richness. Awesome bun for the burger. The burger patty is excellent. I asked for this prepared medium. Such a delectable crust is formed on the outside. It's slightly crispy, it has a beautiful Maillard reaction, and it's been wonderfully seasoned. You can really get some peppery notes on that burger, and the quality of the meat here is superb. You can tell that they're using steak trimmings for this burger, and it leads to a very tender and juicy bite. They're using an American cheese here, which is always my favorite on a burger. It's melty, salty, and rich, always works perfectly for me. And you also have some tangy pickles here, delivering a little bit of an additional sour flavor. A very light application for the burger sauce. It's a creamy burger sauce with a slightly pungent kick to it, coming from some Dijon. It's very well balanced, all of the flavors come together beautifully, and the quality of the meat here really sets it off.
Huge fan of the steakhouse burger. This is a good one. All right, everyone, now I taste tested the French fries just 2 days ago when I was here last. They're still as good as they were back then, so I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my meal, and when I return, we're gonna be checking out some dessert. Don't go anywhere because sweets are actually coming up. All right, everyone, so it's time to cap off the meal with some sweets. Let's take a look at the dessert menu together. Alrighty, so here's your dessert menu at high stakes. We'll take a look inside. Key lime donuts, black forest pie cake, and hummingbird cake, pumpkin spice souffle. Got ice cream or sorbets, dessert wines here, as well as some after dinner drinks. And nice little dessert menu here, high stakes. Now, I did get the key lime donuts when I was here 2 days ago with my family, and I thought they were actually pretty good. The toasted meringue was easily the best part. A nice airy sweetness to that. The coconut ice cream was smooth and creamy, and the coconut flavor was very pronounced. And the key lime curd had a nice acidity, some good lime flavors there. All of it did come together well. It's unfortunate that I didn't actually have my microphone on during the time when I was filming it, but I do want to try a different dessert today, so I'm gonna get my order in, and for all of you at home, I'm gonna make it appear right now. All right, everyone, and here it is. I got their hummingbird cake. This looks absolutely beautiful. Something that looks like a carrot cake, but along with a house-made pecan ice cream. I've got a nice assortment of everything on the fork here. Let's give this a try. That is delicious.
Absolutely marvelous dessert. I'm really enjoying this one. Very much like a carrot cake at its heart. The cake itself is super spongy, very moist. You can make out the subtle sweetness of the carrots, as well as some nutty flavors. I'm imagining some form of nutmeg or cinnamon is in this recipe. There are some toasted nuts also baked into the cake, delivering some slightly earthy flavors. This is really nice. The cream cheese frosting is really magical. It's thick and rich with a beautiful tangy sweetness. This is about as good of a cream cheese frosting as I've ever had. It works wonderfully on this cake. The house-made pecan ice cream is so good. It's very smooth, nice and silky, with a very buttery, nutty flavor. Something akin to a granola crumble is also adding a nice crunch, and a small drizzle of caramel provides a beautiful nutty sweetness. The dehydrated pineapple slice on top is super creative, a slightly dehydrated crisp to it, and while mildly sweet, there's a tangy acidic aftertaste that's actually really good here. All of the elements combined come together as a really wonderful bite.
This might be one of the best carrot cakes I've ever had. All right, everyone, now that's gonna do it for, I guess, technically my double dinner here at High Stakes at the Real Las Vegas.
My first evening here came out to $580 before tip, and my family and I certainly had a great time then. I enjoyed the prime rib sliders the most out of the appetizer round, and the rigatoni nero was actually very tasty. Hands down, the lion mushroom steak for me was the most impressive dish of the evening. That had to be the most flavorful vegan dish I've had in my entire life. The prime rib was tasty,
And in general, I think you're gonna find some really good recipes here at High Stakes.
Now for my dinner this evening, everything came out to $80 before tip, although it does look like they caught my Coke Zero, so that was quite nice of them.
And I must admit, I actually really enjoyed tonight.
I already love steakhouse burgers to start, but that Bar Bohème inspired cheeseburger here was absolutely magical. I would definitely be coming back for that burger. The hummingbird cake would easily be my choice between the two desserts that I tried. If you're not adverse to carrot cake, I think this is one of the best carrot cakes I've ever tried. The atmosphere is fantastic, you have some of the best views in the entire city, and the recipes are both comforting and elevated at the same time.
And so with that said, I think High Stakes has a really bright future ahead. And so if you've been interested in checking out this restaurant, I hope this video has been informative for you. All right, my friends, now that's going to do it for this week's video where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Make sure you return next Saturday. I would love to have you as I continue to add to my collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.